What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reftaco, and today we're back with another video on the Reftaco Eagles channel. And the Eagles just finished their first preseason game where they got destroyed by the Baltimore Ravens. I believe it was 24-7 was the final, but it was 24-0. It was like 10-0 at halftime. The score doesn't really matter in a preseason game. It's the way that you play. And the Eagles simply did not play good, but I think that it is not time to hit the panic button. And there are a few reasons why that I'm going to get into. But yeah, this was not a fun game of preseason. We had the Hall of Fame game last week, and that was amazing. Been some good games. This was bad, and the Eagles did not play well. But some players I want to talk about, some coaches I want to talk about, some people I want to talk about, and some things overall that I think should be addressed. So yeah, let's get right into this. The first thing, and I think the biggest thing, is the way the offense played. The offense was stagnant the whole game until the fourth quarter when Cole Payton came in. And a lot of people, it seemed, in, the YouTube chats, I was bouncing around, the Twitters, it seems like it's being blamed on Sean Mannion. And the thing that I can say is, yes, this is Sean Mannion's offense. A lot of people were saying, oh, this is just Nick Sirianni, and they give him like a script for preseason. No, this is Sean Mannion's offense, and I think Sean Mannion was calling it. Honestly, I don't think that the sequencing was that bad. He never abandoned the run. He never, called a run in 3rd and 12 like Petula would. But he doesn't have the cool stuff. He doesn't have the big, the motions, the real condensed receiver sets. He didn't do anything too cool, and even if he did have some cool type of formation, they weren't exactly using guys in many cool ways. In a lot of ways, they were just trying to exploit one-on-one matchups. They're trying to evaluate talent in the preseason, not really evaluate the coach. They think Sean Mannion is an amazing coach because of what they see in practice. So they want to evaluate, and hey, this ball is going to go to this guy. Make a play. Make a play, Darius Cooper. We saw a back shoulder fade. We saw some stuff that I just feel like would never happen in a real Sean Mannion offense in the way that some of these other offenses have been run, but it just didn't look good. That's true, but I do think that we did see some Sean Mannion parts that I am excited about. The two main things are, well, I guess they both fall under just alignment, which is the heavy personnel usage and the under center usage. With Andy Dalton in the first quarter, we went under center very consistently. And that's because Andy Dalton has ran this system before, and he knows how to do it. I think that's why he came out first, because I think with the starters, they want that under center look because they're going to be running that a lot more in season. And McKee was a lot more in the gun. And obviously, you get later in the game, you start losing, you got to go in the gun some more. But he played under center, and he played with some heavy personnel. We saw it was Calcaterra and Stowers out there a lot, and I'll get to some of those guys because they didn't play great like Eli Stowers. But I think that some of the things in the Mannion offense that I saw, if the core of it is this, because we just see the core of an offense in preseason. Now, the core of a Kevin Petullo, Nick Sirianni offense is just all that there is. There's just a core. There's no cool things that can spark off of it. But this is not a core offense. This is what we saw is a core offense, but what we hopefully will see in the regular season is more cool things that can derive off of that. And so I don't think that there's a problem with the offensive play calling because it's going to be very generic. And I think that the sequencing was not bad. The when to pass, when to run, when to attack this side, when to attack. It didn't feel predictable. It didn't feel generic. Well, the offense felt generic, but the play calling didn't feel generic. And so I am actually happy with Sean Mannion's performance. We weren't going to see anything crazy, and this is what we got. I think it's on execution. That was the biggest problem. I guess I'll start off talking about that offense that scored 10 points. We saw Andy Dalton come in the first quarter and not play well. We saw Tanner McKee come in for most of the second and third quarter and not play well. We saw Cole Payton in the fourth quarter play all right. I mean, he was able to run, get out some situations. He ran a lot, which is fine. And he had the best day out of anybody. Now, he was going up against the worst defense out of anybody, but he had a pretty nice day. Dalton, again, there were just easy throws, and he was missing them. A lot of times, you're going to, in preseason, just get quick throws, and there was, a little quick pass to Hollywood, I remember. A quick pass to Bigsby that was low, and he bounced up and was almost a pick six before they labeled it incomplete. So Andy Dalton didn't have a good day, obviously. Tanner McKee, I think, had just as bad of a day. There were maybe some good things. He had a slant route to Darius Cooper for 13 yards. Ooh, if you're happy about a slant route for 13 yards, that's not good. And he was missing some balls. He missed an out route to Darius Cooper. He threw a corner to Calcaterra a little over his head. And a lot of his completions were very short. It felt like it was a snap the ball and throw it right to Eli Stowers. I think Eli Stowers got 3 real quick catches off of Tanner McKee, and I think that was his whole day. So Tanner McKee, Dalton, they did not play good. The run game from the running backs did all right. Tank Bigsby had like one nice outside zone that was called back for holding. Will Shipley had a few nice runs. One of them was called back for holding. Cole Payton had some runs called back for holding. And then from the offensive line standpoint, there were some guys that played really well. A guy that I was happy of was Markel Bell. Markel Bell didn't let anything get through him. I think Markel Bell is really solid. Do I think he's the Lane Johnson replacement? No. I think he could be the Tyler Steen replacement. I think he can be the Fred Johnson replacement. He's not the Lane Johnson replacement. But he played very well, and he had a good day. Willie Lampkin had a good day. Willie Lampkin drives people off the ball, man. He's 5'10", but he drives people off the ball. I know some guys had a good day. Hinton, I feel like, kept getting called for holds. Jake Majors, the center, stunk. I thought Drew Kendall was all right. Fred Johnson wasn't great. They had, what was his name, Ojukwu, wasn't great. There were some guys that just weren't great, but the offensive line played okay. The receivers, a lot of people seem to be blaming the receivers. I don't think the receivers did that bad. Darius Cooper had a drop. That was not good, obviously. But when you have these types of play calls and these plays where they just, he got the ball and he instantly threw it. There wasn't time for pressure. There was rarely time for pressure until Cole Payton got in there. Darius Cooper had a drop. What was Hollywood supposed to do? He got the ball once. There just weren't opportunities for these guys. Elijah Moore got one jet sweep. I think that was it for him. Then it was Danny Gray and Quez Watkins. Danny Gray got held on what would have been a nice in-breaking route. I don't know why they didn't call that. So there were problems. There were obviously problems, but I don't think that the receivers are to blame. I think at most the quarterbacks are to blame for everything. The offensive line didn't play great. It was mainly penalties, even though the guys were holding their blocks pretty well, honestly. But I just think overall it was sloppy. Or it wasn't crazy sloppy. It was just the way that the plays were called, the way that the plays were designed, and the way that they run this stuff in preseason isn't good, and it doesn't lead to yards. It leads to maybe good evaluation and how he can do his little check mark for this guy, and this guy gets cut. It doesn't result in yards, and the Eagles don't care about yards. It's a preseason game. They don't care about these preseason games. They care about their joint practices. Offense, there were some problems, but it really wasn't that bad, and it wasn't as bad as 7 points, and it's nothing to worry about compared to when you have starters out there. Yeah. The defense. There were some positives for defense. When it comes to guys that will actually play, I think both Ebiketie and Espinosa had really good games. I think Espinosa, I felt like he was just always around. There was one thing he did that I didn't like, but he just seemed like he was always around the football. He made quite a few tackles in the run. Ebiketie, great run stuffer. We knew this. He came in, and that's what he did. He would set the edge. He would bang, bang, push the tackle back, cause this guy to bounce outside, and boom. Jeremiah Trotter, another really good day. He played almost the whole first half. It felt like when a guy made a tackle, it was always Jeremiah Trotter. And then Jahad Campbell was fine. He was in there for like 2 drives. He played okay. He did what he needed to do. He made a few nice tackles. He didn't do anything wrong. The secondary. Jacorian Bennett got hurt early. Hopefully he's their answer as a backup corner, because Mac McWilliams was kind of getting toasted. Ambry Thomas. Ringo. Man, every time Ringo had one thing happen to him, man, Ringo sucks. Ringo, cut Ringo. Ringo is here because he's a special teamer. He does suck at corner. He does. There was one other dude that was in there that wasn't good. Oh, his name was Wade. He got a forced fumble. Okay, he got a forced fumble. He was allowing catches left and right. And the Ravens had great receivers out there. Look, our backup corners, like Devontae Walker, Jacoby Lane, Elijah Surratt, all three of those guys should be getting plays in regular season football. If I know who you are, you're not good enough to be, or you're too good to be a backup. Okay? And to play in the second and third quarter for those guys in a preseason game. And so I am not crazy concerned because they are not our starting corners, but we do need a backup corner badly. We do need one of these guys to step up. Ambry Thomas has gotten a lot of regular season reps, but it seemed like he wasn't in there in the start. Mac McWilliams seems like he was that guy. Mac McWilliams didn't have a great day. I think he had one or two catches. There was one where everybody thought Mac McWilliams got burnt, but it was Andre Sam. Andre Sam went back on a post route, and Ambry Thomas is like, go, get him, and the ball goes on a crosser right to the guy he was telling him to get. So that was on Andre Sam, but Mac McWilliams was right there when he caught it, so people blamed it on him. Michael Carter played okay, but he has to tackle. He was okay in coverage. Andre Sam was kind of the opposite. He was making tackles, but he was not good in coverage. Some other safeties. Wisniewski didn't play. They had some other random dudes in there. That didn't matter. It's the fourth quarter. They're not making the team. But we do need some backup corner to step up, and I think Mac McWilliams, it seems like he was that guy in camp, but it didn't seem like he was that guy today, and that kind of concerns me. But the defense overall, the biggest thing is that they weren't tackling. They needed to make tackles, and they were getting washed in the run game. When Espinosa and Ebiketie went out, and you had these random dudes, there was a guy wearing 77 named Jackson, there was a guy wearing 78, there was a guy wearing 64, there was Uar Bernard in his first reps ever. The D-line was getting torched, and these running backs were averaging 7 yards a pop. And then we'd stack the box, and the number 12 was dotting us up. So, it was not great. But the actual starters and the actual people that are important played okay. Except for two. Except for Ty Robinson and Byron Young. Ty Robinson got a sack. Ty Robinson played okay, but he was consistently in there until the fourth quarter. That doesn't seem like a good thing for your fourth-round pick that is probably your Moro Ojomo replacement. Or at least that was the plan with him, was to be the Moro Ojomo replacement after this year. And he's not there. And then Byron Young, he was only in at the very start of the game, but I guess the run defense was better at the start of the game because they had those edges out there. We can take Byron Young out of that. But Ty Robinson was getting washed. And our D-line was not playing good, and it felt like Clint Hurt was only focused on one dude, which is Uar Bernard, which he probably should be. I feel like they never ran the ball when Uar Bernard was in, but I feel like he got washed. Weiroo wasn't stopping the run. He's small. We knew that wasn't going to happen. Some other guys like that don't really matter. So, yeah, we lost. But does it really matter in the grand scheme of things when it's a bunch of guys that aren't making the team? No. We're still going to the Super Bowl. Cole Payton's a dog. Brandon Mann did all right. Jake Elliott, he made his one kick. Missy Elliott. So, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. That's what I took from this game. I don't know about you. That's going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If they make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.